Welcome back to my channel for another video. Okay guys, a special video this week. Okay, for the amount of time that I have been in this business, okay, there's always been a question asked, okay, and that question is, who's the better trader, a professional trader or a retail trader? Well, let's get into it, and you might change your mind after you see this video. Okay guys, so first of all, what's the difference between a professional trader and what's the difference between a retail trader? Okay, the difference is very simple. A professional trader actually does not trade with their own capital, they trade with somebody else's capital. So they work for the company and they actually trade in investors' capital. Okay, a retail trader trades with their own capital, with their own money. You hear the word professional and you automatically think that they're going to be a better trader. Well, let's have a look at this. Okay? So, in the last 6 weeks, the stock market has had a massive pullback, a huge decline. Dow Jones has plummeted, the S&P 500 has also plummeted. Okay, so here we go. What does a retail trader predominantly invest in? Okay, well, retail trading is predominantly day trading. So day trading is you trade a specific time frame, i.e. the European Open or the US Open. Okay, so you may be in a position for a number of seconds or a number of minutes. Okay, most day traders, they scalp trade or intraday. They rarely swing. Okay, so what's the benefit to this? Well, first of all, the longer that you are in the stock market, i.e. when you have a live position opened, you are more susceptible to risk. And it makes sense, doesn't it? The more that you're in an environment, the longer periods that you're in an environment, the more susceptible that you are to risk. And that goes with any kind of environment. It doesn't matter what the environment is. Okay, the principle is the same. So therefore, straight away, there's an element of risk management already automatically installed in day trading and scalping because you're in, you're out. So professional trader, what does the professional trader trade? They trade a lot of different instruments. They trade, bonds. Now when I say trade, predominantly long-term investments. So they're holding positions for weeks, months, sometimes years. Okay, so bonds, gold, indices, a few different stocks, currencies. It's quite a big mixture and they have to be diverse. Of course, they have to be diverse. So as an example, in terms of what happened in June, so you have all of these huge hedge fund companies, and not just the hedge fund companies, but also a lot of these big banks. A lot of these big banks also have departments within their business that is solely dedicated to trading. Okay, so it's not just the hedge fund companies. You actually have these high street banks. You walk down the street, you'll see 10 banks. The majority of them probably also trade the stock market. Of course they do. It's the business, okay? So here's a very good example as to why I personally think that a day trader is better than your professional trader. Because what happened in June? So look how much money these professional traders lost their clients. Now what they would have done is, when they see the decline, they'd have held the positions. They wouldn't have closed them straight away because they would have expected some kind of recovery. They'd have held, and it would have got to a stage where they were in a negative net position. Now for a retail trader, a negative net position might mean that you're 10 or 100 or 500 pounds down. Okay, these guys could be hundreds of thousands of dollars down. As simple as that. So therefore the question has to be asked, who is the better trader? Well, I tell you what, in June the better trader was definitely the retail trader, because what's happened in June with the professional trader is they have lost not millions, not billions, but trillions of dollars in the stock market. Trillions. And it's all investors' money. It's not their money, it's investors' money. They're trading other people's money. Now, at the start of this, you might say to yourself that the professional trader is a better trader because in the long run they're more profitable. Okay, But listen, these guys are holding positions for months. Months and months and months and months and months. So do you honestly think that they continue to hold those positions in June? I don't think so. I don't think so. I really doubt it very much that they'd held their positions, especially on futures. The Dow Jones, obviously, the S&P 500. And listen, what's going to happen when these indices and futures decline? Okay, now because they're so influential, what's going to happen is they're also going to drag stocks down with them. Yeah, okay, there's a few companies that might hold their own. Apple, Twitter, there's a couple, Facebook. They can hold their own because they've got such amount of volume. But the majority of companies would have been sucked down with the futures, with the indices. So not only does their portfolio of futures and indices take a dive, but as a result of that happening, so does their stocks. Gold, okay, gold is also plunged. Okay, everything is in decline. Crypto, a complete disaster. Now, a lot of these banking institutions and hedge fund companies have jumped on board of the whole crypto thing. I don't trade crypto, I don't trust it, I'll never trade it. For me, I just wouldn't touch it. Okay, but of course these big banking institutions and these hedge fund companies, they've jumped on the bandwagon because they see the profits are getting made. Now what's happened? Okay, so these guys have lost trillions of dollars of investors' money. Trillions. When a day trader loses money, you might lose a couple of £100 or something. When you lose a couple of £100, you can get that back pretty quick. So the question has to be asked again, who is the better trader? The professional trader? Because he went to college, went to university, passed all these exams, can do his times table, yeah? Seriously? Is that where we're coming from in 2022? Is that really where we're coming from? Are people that naive to think that just because you go to college or you go to university, then you're smarter than somebody that doesn't? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Remember, when you pass an exam, it's got nothing to do with intelligence, it's to do with memory. You've got a good memory. You studied something, you remembered it. So when you pass an exam, it's nothing to do with your intelligence, you remembered something. There's a completely different aspect to this whole game than people think. Professional traders have looked down on retail traders for as long as I've been in the business, over 4 years. They've looked down on retail traders, laughed at retail traders. Last year, retail traders did catch the headlines, trading a couple of different stocks, if you remember. But in June is a classic example as to why this whole rhetoric around professional trader versus day trader is complete nonsense. And people have to now get a grip of themselves and stop comparing themselves to professional traders.